The Avengers and the X-Men are the two teams that keep the world safe from outside threats. Whether they got their power through scientific experiments, mechanical armor, or genetic mutations, both are crime-fighting forces that save the world from mass destruction on multiple occasions. But how do they stack up against each other? What would happen if the superpowered mutants of X-Men had to throw down with Tony Stark, Captain America, the Hulk, and Black Widow? Marvel's The Avengers. When they first gathered to save New York City from an alien invasion, the Avengers were not instantly a cohesive team. Their first couple of missions ended in disaster because their personalities kept clashing over personal issues. And while this tendency has yet to be resolved, see Captain America Civil War, they are still a crime-fighting team that packs a punch. The firepower of Iron Man and War Machine practically guarantees them the power of a small military force. Not to mention they have several outright mystic characters in the team, including Thor, Vision, and Scarlet Witch. And they have a Hulk. Fox's X-Men. Trained at Charles Xavier's School for the Gifted, the X-Men are largely made up of younger individuals looking for acceptance in a world that fears and rejects them. The X-Men have used their diverse mutations to fight government forces that seek to control their powers. Most recently, superpowered mutants who wish to destroy the world, and most frequently Magneto, leader of the Brotherhood of Mutants. Like the Avengers, they do tend to disagree and come to blows frequently, with the group changing membership many times over several films. Powers. The Avengers have an extremely wide range of powers in their team, which makes them a force to be reckoned with for any army trying to invade the Earth. Exposed to Dr. Erskine's super soldier serum after enlisting, Captain America has highly developed strength and stamina, as well as a nearly indestructible vibranium shield on top of his already formidable combat training. While he has no combat training, Tony Stark is an engineering genius who built his own suit of armor outfitted with an array of state-of-the-art weaponry, and he provides funding for the entire team. Thor, Prince of Asgard, has Mjolnir, a hammer so heavy only he can lift it, and can call down lightning from the sky when necessary. Black Widow and Hawkeye have years of espionage training and an array of gadgets, and the Hulk, well, he smashes. What they lack in training, the X-Men make up for by having diverse and powerful mutations. Mystique can shapeshift and assume any form she wants, making her an excellent infiltrator. Cyclops shoots powerful concussion beams from his eyes, and Wolverine is a near invulnerable outlet of rage and violence. And if Quicksilver isn't back home in his mother's basement, he can cause a devastating amount of damage before the enemy knows what hit them. However, their greatest asset may be their leader, Charles Xavier, who can control minds, causing enemies to freeze in place or do his bidding. The X-Men also have an invisible jet at their disposal, which, while lacking in weaponry, makes for an effective tool for a sneak attack. Weaknesses. As mentioned before, the Avengers have trouble getting along. In the first Avengers film, they came to blows with each other more frequently than the enemy. By the time the Age of Ultron rolled around, they were considerably more together as a team, but extremely vulnerable to psychological and psychic manipulation. And if one of their members turns against them, it tends to throw the whole team into disarray. Their battle strategies tend to be rather simplistic. Rushing forward into the fray is the go-to strategy for most of the team. And 3 times in a row, the Hulk has beaten up fellow Avengers during important battles. The X-Men, however, are mostly students. Unlike Captain America, Hawkeye, or Black Widow, none of the X-Men have any military training or experience. Because of this, their battles with other mutants tend to rely quite heavily on the mutants who have the best powers for the situation. And this allows the X-Men to be extremely vulnerable to mutants with strong enough abilities. In both X-Men First Class and Apocalypse, the entire X-Men team is beaten soundly by small groups of rogue mutants. And in X-Men 2, the entire world is put in danger when Charles Xavier is kidnapped and brainwashed. Fight. A fight between the two teams would be extremely taxing on both sides. The Avengers were able to keep New York from being completely destroyed by aliens, but those aliens were only an army of easily destroyed henchmen following a single demigod, Loki. The X-Men would represent a far more difficult foe because each member requires a different strategy to take down. The Avengers definitely have raw power on their side and certainly superior firepower from both Iron Man and War Machine. While Charles Xavier's mind control power could be devastating, it has been negated by specially designed headgear. which Tony Stark is probably capable of developing with the resources and knowledge he has. However, if Magneto chooses to join the X-Men in this fight, the weapons of the Avengers would be practically useless. Like Xavier's mind control, this possibility is only doable if the Avengers have advance warning of this coming fight. If the X-Men show up in their invisible jet with Magneto and Professor X and get the drop on the Avengers, this fight may be over before it even started. However, given sufficient time to prepare, this battle could very easily become a stalemate. We have yet to see how the Avengers will handle a powerful purple demigod, but they definitely have durability points on their side. The Avengers have been smashed, pummeled, and otherwise beaten to a pulp by multiple foes, and even their human members find a way to bounce back from life-threatening injuries. And the twin powers of Vision and Scarlet Witch may be enough to turn the tide against the more physically vulnerable X-Men. If the two of them can rip robots apart with their minds, will leather combat armor really be enough to protect X-Men like Cyclops? Whatever the result, one thing is for sure: any city this fight takes place in should probably be evacuated. So there you have it. Two superhero teams with immense power coming head-to-head is sure to cause extreme amounts of collateral damage. But would the mutated abilities of the X-Men really be a match for the firepower of the Avengers? Let us know your thoughts on this in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.